Let's talk about social awkwardness for a second. Are you socially awkward? Because I'm socially awkward in a lot of different situations, and it may not show to the world, but in my brain, I feel uneasy, I feel awkward. And if you're watching this video, chances are you can relate to social awkwardness. What is it about that? Where we can't seem to feel comfortable around certain people or certain situations. Well, for a lot of people, it's childhood, could be ingrained in them from a very young age. Maybe they were bullied when they were younger. They go throughout life very shy. You have to understand that everybody's very, very different. And in our society, it's almost like, okay, the loudest talkers are the ones that get heard. But what about the shy ones? What about the more introverted ones? What about the ones who are not so comfortable being leaders or being outgoing and outspoken? They often get kind of ignored in a certain kind of sense. So if you feel this way, you feel ignored, you feel like you're too quiet. People used to always tell me when I was a kid, you're so quiet. I've only heard you say like a couple words to me in your lifetime. And you know what the worst thing that you can say to somebody who's very shy and introverted is? It's you're too quiet, because they take offense to it. They retreat even more into their shell. So in this society where we're practically telling people, oh, you need to be more like this way. You need to be more outspoken, more loud. You need to be more of a leader. I want to tell you, no, you don't. Why? Because we don't all fit into nice shiny boxes. We are not all the same. We're not all leaders. We're not all built for that. We're not all outspoken. We're not all loud talkers. So the point of this video is, yes, it's to get to a place of accepting yourself more, but it's shifting your perspective, okay? So many times we are made to feel like we're less than for not being like everybody else. But what I want to tell you is that you can use your awkwardness as your superhuman strength. You can use your awkwardness as your superhuman strength. And you might be saying, well, Jen, I don't know, because awkward's really not cool. But what I want to say is why? Why can't quiet and reserved be cool? Just because people have told you that? So it's shifting the mind a little bit and learning to accept all that you are. Again, not everybody's going to like you, and that is okay. Not everybody's going to like me. Not everybody's going to get this video or my message, and that's fine. I may take it to heart sometimes, but so be it. So realize we don't fit into shiny boxes. Every one of us is completely different. I do a lot of talks and videos on the 5 elements: fire, earth, metal, water, wood. This is not just a fun thing to do to see what archetype you are. It can tell you a lot about yourself and your personality. And it can teach you to accept your so-called flaws as actual strengths. See, what you see as strengths in other people, often what you wish you could be or have or do, you're actually ignoring those parts about yourself that are wonderful, that are great. Think of all the quiet people in history. I can't name it off the top of my head because I didn't do my research for this video, but think about it. Famous authors, actors and actresses who are actually very shy in real life, celebrities, all kinds, sports, anybody, okay? People who have invented stuff, scientists. Don't tell me that they're all really outspoken and very, I don't know, outgoing in a certain way. I guarantee a lot of them were not, okay? Whether they're alive today or not. So this video is basically for the socially awkward. And socially awkward, what that actually means is that we're trying to set pace, or not set pace, but we're trying to keep up the pace of other people, of somebody else, of society, of people that have told us, okay, this is not the right way to be. You need to be over here, not over here. You can't be quiet. You can't be reserved in your life. And I want to say, why not? Why can't that be your strength? Surely there's not enough people who are like you, who are like that. There's a lot of people who talk and say nothing. Don't believe me? Pay more attention. There's a lot of people who talk and move around and they get nowhere and they say nothing. Not to say that anything's wrong with those people either, it's just we're very, very different. So the next time you feel demeaned or you feel insecure about yourself in certain situations around certain people, just remember that everybody you meet in this world, it's always an energetic exchange. We are energy. Everything around us is energy. There's always some sort of either magnetism or somebody is repelling and things like that. It has to do with our vibration. But not everybody is going to meet you at your level, and you're not going to meet everybody at their level. So what I would say is find your tribe, find your niche, find what brings your strengths out, what illuminates you. And if that's reading a good book, or it's writing, or it's doing something creative, or it's cooking, or it's not talking to anybody, that's okay. But we feel socially awkward because we're not accepting ourselves fully. We're moving throughout the world trying to fit ourselves into labels that aren't meant for us necessarily. And the other thing I want to mention is just because you grew up and you identified yourself as awkward or shy, sometimes that carries over into your adult life. And even if you're not that way, I'm guilty of this too. I'm always like, oh, well, I'm actually very shy. Well, I'm not, only in certain situations. I'm not that way all the time. Surely I'm not as playful as in my videos in real life. I am a little more reserved. I am. But that's just me. But it's like we put ourselves into boxes. For example, I was saying, oh, well, I'm shy. And I stuck with that label for pretty much my entire life, even though I may not be that shy anymore as I used to be. But it's like, because I was this way as a kid, then I'm always going to be this way. No. So sometimes when you feel awkward, it's because you're putting yourself in that category, in that identity. Never thinking that you can break out of it or change, or that you're that and a million other things, or you're that only in certain situations with certain people. Because again, it's an energy exchange. So that's the point I want to make, okay? Stop putting yourself into identities and labels and boxes and I don't know what else, because we like to do that, right? And bring out your strengths, what illuminates you, instead of what your flaws are, and always trying to fit or walk down the path of somebody else, a path that's not even meant for you. It's like wearing shoes that are the wrong size, wearing somebody else's shoes. And somebody else wore those shoes and they're fitted to their arch and their foot, and you put them on and it's really uncomfortable, but you try to walk anyway. That's what I'm talking about here in life. When you're trying to walk in somebody else's shoes and it just doesn't feel comfortable. Well, do what feels comfortable, do what illuminates you, and find your strengths instead of always looking at everything as a flaw. There's no flaw, there's no mistakes in life. There's only lessons, there's only pieces of ourselves, parts of ourselves that we integrate as a whole, right? So there is no perfection. It's just that you define perfection in a certain kind of way. But is that really your definition of it? Or is it something that's been fed to you, spoon-fed to you over the years? Anyway, just some food for thought about social awkwardness. If you feel this way, if you resonate at all, let me know in the comments what you think, ways that you've kind of shifted yourself, looking at it from maybe a different perspective, a different approach because everybody's very, very different. So if you identify as a certain way, you may try different things to feel more confident, say strike a power pose and things like that. And they work to a certain degree, but the greatest thing you could ever do for yourself, the best thing you could ever do for yourself, is looking at it from a bird's eye view, shifting yourself a little bit, just tweaking how you're thinking about the situation, how you're thinking about it. The way you're thinking about it is that you're broken in a sort of way, is that there's something wrong with you. And that's why you're trying to strike power poses and do different remedies and things that are going to make you better. But what I'm going to say is no, F that. F that. Tap into your own strengths. If you're quiet, that's awesome, that's amazing. Not many people have that gift to be quiet, to listen to other people actually. That's an amazing quality. But you don't like it about yourself. For what reason? Right? Anyway, subscribe if you like. I put out new videos every single week on Chinese medicine, 5 element stuff, self-empowerment, self-help kind of stuff, all sorts of things I like to talk about. So, have a good one, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.